Jai Hind friends, we are now going to discuss our next topic of this module, Maclaurin series. Before starting this Maclaurin series, we need to first understand what is meant by expansion of function. We are already aware that expressing a function in form of an infinite series is called expansion of functions. For example, if I write e raised to the power x as 1 plus x square upon 2 factorial plus x cube upon 3 factorial plus and so on, it is well-known expansion of this exponential function e raised to the power x. Similarly, the expansions of many other standard functions are already known to us. Now, the question arises that what is the need of this expansion? Why we are writing this small function e raised to the power x in terms of an infinite series? To understand it, let us consider an integral 0 to 1 e raised to the power x square dx. If I want to evaluate this integral, then to apply usual process, I need to first evaluate integration e raised to the power x square with respect to x, and then limits of x will be applied. If we try to evaluate e raised to the power x square, we realize that its integral in terms of elementary functions is not possible. Means this integral cannot be evaluated by the process of usual definite integral, where we evaluate first indefinite integral and then apply the limits. In this case, what we will do? In this case, the expansion of functions will be used. We shall expand this e raised to the power x square using the series of e raised to the power x. In this manner, it will become 1 plus x square plus x raised to the power 4 upon factorial 2 plus x raised to the power 6 upon factorial 3 plus and so on. This whole series can be integrated with respect to x term by term, and applying the limits in that expansion, we can approximate the value of this integral. Larger the number of terms will be considered, more accurate will be the value of our integral. Thus, we have seen that what is the requirement of this expansion of function. Some mathematical processes which cannot be executed in the given function directly are possible to execute by expressing the function in terms of infinite series. Now, we move towards our main topic, which is Maclaurin series in one variable, which we are going to start in the beginning. Exactly what is Maclaurin series we will discuss in few minutes, but in Maclaurin series we will learn that how these expansions are calculated. In previous slide we have seen that e raised to the power x is expanded in infinite series. Similarly, we are already aware that expansion of 1 minus x raised to the power minus 1 can be written as 1 plus x square plus and so on. Similarly, the expansion of sin x is written as x minus x cube over factorial 3 plus x 5 over factorial 5 minus and so on. In this topic, we should understand that how these expansions are calculated, or in general, if a function f is known in terms of x, then how can we expand a function or this function in powers of x? The process which will tell us to expand a function in powers of x is Maclaurin series in one variable. Let f(x) be a continuous function of x having derivatives of all order. We want to expand this function in powers of x. For this, what we will do? Let us assume that the expansion of this function is a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus a3x cube. The general term in this expansion is a(x) raised to the power n plus and so on. If we are able to find these constants a0, a1, a2, a3 and so on, then we shall be able to write the expansion of this function f(x). Now, this is r f(x). We want to first determine the value of a0. For this, what I do? I shall substitute x equal to 0 in this equation or equation 1. When x will be substituted as 0, then all of these terms where x is occurring will disappear, and I am left with f0 is equal to a0. That is, value of first constant a0 is calculated. Now, we want to find a1 now. To find a1, what I do? I differentiate this relation once with respect to x. When I differentiate this relation once with respect to x, what will happen? I will obtain f dash x. This a0 will be 0 because it is constant. This term a1x will give simply a1, and in remaining terms x will be present, and therefore this will be a1 plus terms of x. Now, I shall substitute x equal to 0 in this relation. By doing so, I obtain f dash 0 is equal to a1. The value of a1 is also calculated. The value of a1 is calculated as f dash 0 as equal to a1. Now, I want to determine next constant a2. To determine the value of a2, what I will do? This time I shall differentiate this f(x) with respect to x twice. In this manner, this a0 and a1 are constants, and the terms of x are having less than degree 2. So, this term will disappear. Similarly, this term a1 will also disappear. In this a2, when I shall differentiate twice, this x square, differentiating 1 will give 2x, differentiating 2 it will give simply 2. So, differentiating this term with respect to x and differentiating with respect to x 2 times, I will obtain 2 a2 plus terms of x. Substituting x equal to 0 in this expression, I will obtain f dash 0 is equal to 2 factorial or 2 into a2. I have just written this 2 as 2 factorial. Similarly, to calculate a3, I shall differentiate this function f(x) 3 times. By doing so, these 3 terms will disappear, will be directly 0. The higher terms will have x. When we will substitute x equal to 0, higher terms will also disappear, and this term will be 3 factorial times a3. Thus, I obtain f double dash 0 is equal to 3 factorial a3. it gives a3 is equal to f triple dash 0 over 3 factorial. Repeating the process in a similar manner, I will obtain a n, that is the coefficient of x raised to the power n, is equal to f n 0 over n factorial, where this f n 0 is nth derivative of f at x equal to 0. Now, this was our f x. From previous calculations, I obtained a naught is equal to f 0, a 1 is equal to f dash 0, which can be written as f dash 0 over 1 factorial. A 2 was calculated as f double dash 0 upon 2 factorial. A 3 is f triple dash 0 upon 3 factorial, and doing in a similar manner, I can write a n is equal to f n 0 over n factorial. These all values will be substituted in this formula for f x. Substituting these values of constants a naught, a 1, a 2, etc. in this equation 1, I obtain f x is equal to f 0 plus x f dash 0 plus x square upon factorial 2 f double dash 0 plus x cube upon factorial 3 f triple dash 0 plus x n over factorial n f n 0 plus and so on, and this series which is written here, this is known as Maclaurin series of the function f x. If thus what we have seen that if a function f x satisfies certain conditions, then its series expansion can be directly written in terms of its derivative, and this is f 0 plus x f dash 0 plus x square over factorial 2 f double dash 0 plus x cube over factorial 3 f triple dash 0 plus and so on. This expression which is calculated by us here can be used directly as a formula to obtain the expansion of function. Now, we move towards Taylor series in one variable. What is Taylor series in one variable? In the previous slides, we have obtained the expansion of a function in powers of x. If we obtain the expansion of function in powers of x minus a, that is, if I assume f x as a naught plus x minus a 1 plus x minus a whole square plus x minus a whole square a2 plus and so on. I assume the function f x in this form and then repeat the same process substituting x equal to a. Then the expansion so obtained will be the expansion in powers of x minus a, which will be Taylor series of the function f x in one variable. Thus, if we expand the function in powers of x minus a, the series of f x takes the form below. This form f x is equal to f a plus x minus a f dash a plus x minus a whole square upon factorial 2 f double dash a plus x minus a whole cube upon factorial 3 f triple dash a and so on. This is known as Taylor series for a function f x in powers of x minus a. Thus, what we have learnt? We have learnt if we expand a function in powers of x only, then the expansion so obtained is Maclaurin series. If the same process is done for powers of x minus a, then the expansion so obtained is called Taylor series of f(x) about x equal to a. We can also say that Maclaurin series is a particular case of Taylor series, because if I substitute a equal to 0 in this Taylor series, then Maclaurin series will be obtained. Now, in a similar manner, we can derive Maclaurin series for a function of two variables. Let f(x,y) be a continuous function of x and y having partial derivatives of all orders. Then f(x,y) can be written as f(0,0) plus 1 upon 1 factorial x del f over del x plus y del f over del y plus 1 upon 2 factorial x square del 2f over del x square plus 2xy del 2f over del x del y plus y square del 2f over del y square plus 1 upon 3 factorial x cube del 3f over del x cube plus 3x square y del 3f over del x square del y plus 3xy square del 3f over del x del y square plus y cube del 3f over del y cube plus and so on. Here all partial derivatives are calculated at 0, 0 by doing the similar process which we have done for one variable. The expansion of function of two variables in powers of x and y can be written in this form. It is Maclaurin series in two variables. Now, we take an example to understand how to calculate Maclaurin series for a function of two variables x and y. For this, we need to apply this formula which we have written here. To expand a given function to required degree, we shall use this formula directly, and for this all of these partial derivatives occurring here will be calculated. Substituting the values of partial derivatives in this formula, we shall obtain the value of f(x,y) in powers of x and y, which will be required Maclaurin series expansion. Because in next example, we are to expand this function e raised to the power x log 1 plus y in powers of x and y up to terms of second degree. Therefore, this function e raised to the power x log 1 plus y will work as f, because we are required to obtain expansion up to terms of second degree. Therefore, the third degree terms need not to be written, and we shall just find the partial derivatives up to this second order, and then we will continue with our process. Now, we move back to our example. This function e raised to the power x log 1 plus y is given. We want to expand it in powers of x and y up to terms of second degree. This function is assumed to be f, because we need to find the expansion up to second degree terms. Therefore, all partial derivatives of the function up to second order are to be calculated. Therefore, I find del f over del x. When we shall differentiate this f with respect to x, it will become e raised to the power x log 1 plus y, because this e to the power x will give e to the power x itself, and log 1 plus y will be constant with respect to x. Del f upon del y when calculated will give derivative of log 1 plus y as 1 upon 1 plus y. E raised to the power x will remain unchanged. Values of del f over del x and del f over del y are written. Now, we calculate del 2f over del x square, second derivative, This del 2f over del x square is nothing but del over del x of del f over del x. The value of del f over del x was calculated as e raised to the power x log 1 plus y in previous slide. When we shall differentiate this e raised to the power x log 1 plus y with respect to x, this log 1 plus y will be treated as constant. This e to the power x when differentiated will give e to the power x again. So, I obtain del 2f over del x square as e to the power x log 1 plus y. Now, next derivative is del 2f over del x del y. This del 2f over del x del y can be written as del over del x of del f upon del y. This del f upon del y is nothing but this e raised to the power x upon 1 plus y calculated previously. Differentiating this term with respect to x, this 1 upon 1 plus y will remain constant. Derivative of e raised to the power x will become e raised to the power x itself. So, del 2f over del x del y is e raised to the power x upon 1 plus y. Also, del 2f upon del y square is required. Therefore, it can be written as del over del y of del f over del y. The value of del f over del y was nothing but e raised to the power x upon 1 plus y. This e raised to the power x upon 1 plus y will be differentiated partially with respect to y. The derivative of 1 upon 1 plus y will be minus of 1 upon 1 plus y square. Now, we make the following table. These are our functions because we are required to expand the function up to second degree. Therefore, all derivatives including derivatives of second order and up to second order are calculated, and the values of these derivatives are calculated here. E raised to the power x log 1 plus y, it was value of f. Del f over del x was e raised to the power x log 1 plus y again. Del f over del y, this f was differentiated with respect to y. It was calculated as e raised to the power x upon 1 plus y. Del 2f over del x square when differentiated gives e raised to the power x log 1 plus y. Del 2f over del x del y was this, and del 2f over del y square was this expression. Now, as we have seen that in Maclaurin's theorem, we do not substitute these derivatives in terms of x and y, but their values at 0, 0 are calculated, and these values are substituted in our formula. So, I substitute x equal to 0, y equal to 0 in each of these derivatives. In fact, in f also, substituting x equal to 0, y equal to 0, I know that value of log 1 is 0 and value of e raised to the power 0 is 1. Therefore, when I shall substitute x equal to 0, y equal to 0 in this expression, this will become log of 1. Value of log of 1 will be 0. When I shall substitute x equal to 0, y equal to 0 in this, it will again become log of 1, which will be 0. When I substitute x equal to 0, y equal to 0 in this, it will be simply 1. This term when substituted x and y as 0 will give again 0 because log 1 will be 0. In this term, when we substitute x equal to 0, y equal to 0, I will obtain 1, and in last term when I shall substitute e raised to the power x as e raised to the power 0, so it will be 1, and this term will be minus 1. Thus, these values of partial derivatives are calculated, and these will be used to apply in the formula. These are our values. Now, the expansion of function in Maclaurin series was f(x(y) is equal to f(0, 0) plus x del f over del x plus y del f over del y plus 1 upon 2 factorial x square del 2f over del x square plus 2xy del 2f over del x del y plus y square del 2f over del y square plus and so on. Because we are required to find the expansion up to second degree only, therefore, terms of third degree are not written here, they are just excluded. Now, the values of these partial derivatives were calculated: del f over del x, del f over del y, this and this were calculated in previous slide. These values will be substituted in that formula. This del f over del x was 0, del f over del y was 1, del 2f over del x square was again 0, del 2f over del x del y was 1, and del 2f over del y square was minus 1. Simplifying, these terms where 0 is multiplied will disappear, and we shall obtain this expression. These will be not there because we are required to find the expansion up to second degree only, and which is our required expansion. Let me sum up once again. This was our function which was to be expanded in Maclaurin series because in powers of x and y as far as terms of second degree. For this function was assumed to be f. Then required partial derivatives which are needed in the formula of Maclaurin series were calculated. Calculating all partial derivatives, I obtained a table like this. In this table, I have written derivatives up to second order only because we are required to find the expansion as far as terms of third degree. The values of these partial derivatives are calculated at the point 0, 0 because in Maclaurin's theorem or expansion, the partial derivatives are always calculated at 0, 0. These values were obtained, and substituting those values of partial derivative, I obtained the required expansion. Now, we understand what is Taylor series in two variables. In Maclaurin series, the expansion of the function f was obtained in powers of x and y only. If we are to expand a function in powers of x minus a and y minus b, where a and b are certain numbers, then the expansions obtained will be Taylor series of the function. Thus, when finding Maclaurin series, expansion of function was performed in powers of x and y. If we expand the function in powers of x minus a and y minus b, the Maclaurin series of f(x(y) takes the following form. The form will be looking like this. The x is replaced by x minus a, y is replaced by y minus b, first term is replaced by f(ab), and remaining terms are unchanged. Thus, f(x(y) can be written as f(ab) is equal to 1 upon 1 factorial x minus a del f over del x plus y minus b del f over del y plus 1 upon factorial 2 x minus a whole square del 2f over del x square plus twice x minus a y minus b del 2f over del x del y plus y minus b whole square del 2f over del y square plus 1 upon 3 factorial x minus a whole cube del 3f over del x cube plus 3 x minus a whole square y minus b del 3f over del x square del y plus 3 x minus a y minus b whole square del 3f over del x del y square plus y minus b whole cube del 3f over del y cube plus and so on. In this expansion, the series written here is Taylor's series of the function f x y about the point a b, and here the all partial derivatives which are occurring here are calculated at the point a comma b. What I have told? I have told that if we are expanding a function in powers of x and y, then the function was Maclaurin series, then expansion was Maclaurin series. If I expand the function in powers of x minus a and y minus b, then in Maclaurin series the first term was replaced by fab. In remaining terms, x and y occurring in product were replaced by x minus a and y minus b, and remaining terms were unchanged. The expansion so obtained is Taylor's series of the function about ab. Here all partial derivatives are calculated about the point ab. Now, what I have done in this lecture, let me sum up once again. First of all, we understood what is expansion of function. Then we learnt what is the need of expansion of function. Then we learnt our main topic, which is Maclaurin series, through which we understood that how can we obtain the expansion of any function in powers of x if function is satisfying certain conditions. Then we generalized that expansion into powers of x minus a. Further, we discussed how can we expand a function of two variables x and y in powers of x and y. In this manner, Maclaurin series for two variables was introduced. And now we have learnt in recent slide that if the expansion of function in powers of x minus a and y minus b is required, then how to expand such function. In next video, we will discuss that how to find the Taylor's expansion of a function in powers of x minus a and y minus b with the help of examples. We will also understand the application of Taylor series to find the approximate value of a function. We are now going to stop. Thank you.